Welcome everyone to day 7 of our 30-day yoga journey for peace. And today the theme is restore. So we need to take time to restore ourselves, to rest and digest, to take a break, to slow down, to just do something in a very calm, relaxing way that doesn't take a lot of effort, but it helps us to really go inside and find this deep sense of peace and sense of balance, balancing out all the the running around that we do, the to-do list, the get this done, get that done, with like just doing hardly anything and letting like our props support us. So you will need a blanket or a yoga blanket or a regular blanket or just something that you can roll up and use for support. I wanted to share a quote with you from Thich Nhat Hanh, who's like just such an insightful man. We have a tendency to think in terms of doing and not in terms of being. We think that when we are not doing something, we are wasting our time. But that is not true. Our time is for all of us to be. To be what? To be alive, to be peaceful, to be joyful, and to be loving. And that's what the world needs most. Let's take a little time to center ourselves. We'll close your eyes and start to turn your senses inward to the breath. And I like to even sometimes just imagine like inside my body, what's going on there. Can you like even picture the diaphragm? This looks kind of like a jellyfish in a way. It's a dome-shaped muscle that lowers down on the inhale and floats back up on the exhale. And it has this like just wave-like motion. And then you could imagine like all your nerves firing, the communication from your brain into your, all your organs, into your hips, into your whole body. Like our movement begins with a thought, and our brain kind of directs what we do. The brain is just part of our body. It's part of who we are. It's an unconscious thing usually, and a lot of things we don't even have to think about that much. We just do them, like breathing. But now we're just going to control our breath a little bit by slowing it down, making it a little fuller, letting yourself move as you breathe, like just a gentle motion. And then we'll start to grow that movement. So start to circle around your hips in big movements, like sweeping your chest down, rolling to one side and then back into the other side. And just kind of having fun with this. Noticing how this movement gives your hips, your legs a little massage. Let's switch directions. Good, come back to center and just a little movement now. So tilt your pelvis forward so your front hip bones come forward and kind of go forward and down. And then tilt your pelvis back so the front hip bones go back. And just go back and forth, focusing mainly on the pelvis. Letting your upper body just kind of go along for the ride. Now come back to center and focus on your ribs, your thoracic spine. So see if you can puff the ribs forward and then pull them back. Trying to keep the shoulders and the hips relatively still. Although since everything is connected, we can't really isolate anything in our bodies. It's all one big, like we all grew from a seed. We weren't parts that were made outside of our bodies and then put together. Like everything started as a seed and grew as one continuous being. Good. Now come back to center and lift and lower your chin. So just kind of moving the neck. And lower your left ear toward your left shoulder, but don't sink down. So keep an inner lift and reach your right arm out to the side. Externally rotate the shoulders so your chest is coming forward and the shoulders rolling back. And then wiggle your fingers. And now we're going to internally rotate the shoulder, bringing the shoulder forward and then externally rotate it back. Notice the sensation, like, throughout your neck, your arm, your fingers, and how it even feeds into the rest of your body. Now take your left hand, place it on the right side of your head, and push your head up into your hand. And again, rotate the right shoulder. Keep pushing your head up into your hand. And then relax your right fingertips on the ground. Push up a little bit more into your hand, but not forcefully, just like so there's an engagement there. Then release your hand, let your head just float back up. And bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. Find that inner lift. Reach your left arm out to the side. Externally rotate the shoulder and wiggle your fingers. Your head kind of like fall. I don't really want to say fall or drop, but kind of that, like they're just letting it hang there. Then then begin to like internally rotate and externally rotate your shoulder, the left shoulder this time. Moving from the shoulder. And place your right hand on the left side of your head and push your head up into your hand. Resist with your hand. And just little movements here so you can explore what's going on in your body, the whole left side. And lower your fingers to the floor, remove your right hand, let your head float up. And just do some just nice flowing gentle cat-cows. So whole body moving forward and back. Good. Let's come back to center. And now we're going to take our blanket and fold it in something like this, something like quarters, and then roll it up. And take your time to roll it up nice and tight and smooth. And now the great thing about this is you can make the height of the blanket roll whatever height you want. If I rolled it up all the way, it'd be bigger. If I rolled it part way, it'd be smaller. So I'm going to start with it about 3/4 of the way rolled up. And then I'm going to come back and lower the bottom tips of your shoulder blades on the blanket so that the top of your shoulders are not quite on the floor, but you don't want the blanket roll underneath the top of your shoulders. You want it down a little bit lower. And there's room for adjustment here. Bring your arms out into a cactus position, or if that's too much, you can straighten your arms. And just let your body sink over the blanket so that it's opening up your chest a little bit more, getting you out of that text neck position, that forward head lean. And notice how your breath feels now. If feels like something's been freed up a little bit. So your breath naturally becomes a little more full. And then you can slow it down. And we're just going to stay here in this position, letting the blanket, our prop, and gravity do all the work. And all we have to do is sit here and breathe. And let your mind relax, or try and relax your mind. One way to do that is to keep coming back to the breath. And let your thoughts just float by like clouds in the sky. See if with every exhale you can go a little bit deeper into this time that we're taking to restore and renew, rest and relax. And just let your body soften. So letting go of any tension any feeling of tightness or stuckness. And feel your breath just flow in and out. So the inhale is a big swell lifting up. And the exhale, it's like you're riding down the surface of the wave. Just a couple more breaths here with the blanket in this position, and then we're going to move the blanket down a little bit, more toward the center of our back. So you can bend your knees, gently roll to your side. Now I'm going to roll the blanket up a little bit more, so it's a little bit bigger. And I want to place the blanket now lower than it was before. So kind of in the middle of the back. So this time, maybe your shoulders and your hips can be on the floor. So it's below my shoulder blades. Still working on opening up the thoracic spine, which often gets kind of tight. But creating this opening is helping you to breathe a little more easily and to feel that sense of being open and that sense of deep inner peace. If we don't take this time to, you could think of it as doing nothing. We're not accomplishing anything as far as a task, but we are accomplishing taking care of ourselves and helping our body to be a little more resilient, a little more flexible, a little stronger. Like in this restorative pose, we're not working on strength. We're working on openness, peacefulness, joyfulness, contentedness. And maybe working on is the wrong word to use. You could think of playing with peacefulness, joyfulness, contented, feeling of contentment. And just letting go, non-clinging. And this is something you can easily do on your own. You could just even take a few minutes, roll up a blanket, lie on your bed or the floor. Floor is actually better than the bed, but if you don't have enough floor space or you don't like that idea, you could even do this on the bed. But I would also say, even saying that, like, get used to being on the floor more. The floor is like a great tool for feeling your alignment, for finding that feeling of support, and even being able to get up and down off the floor. So now let's come off the blanket and bring the blanket a little bit lower. So now it's going to be in the low back. So we went from the upper back around the shoulders to the middle back and now to the low back. And feel free to adjust the height of your blanket by unrolling it if it feels like this is not comfortable. At the same time, give yourself about 3 breaths to let your body settle. Because what might feel uncomfortable on the first breath might feel really good by the 3rd breath. And again, just let everything go, relax. And so simple and yet so powerful. And is it even difficult for you to give yourself permission to relax? Do you feel guilty relaxing? See if you can let go of those ideas that are really inaccurate and, kind of can make you feel guilty. So not good feelings to have. However, that being said, we always want to work with balance. So you wouldn't want to do this all day and all night and never do anything else. I mean, then it would become the opposite of benefiting you. So it's all like just finding balance in our life. Just a few more breaths here. And you can do this on your own and stay in these positions longer if you like. And just 2 more long, slow breaths here. And then when you're finished, you can bend your knees, gently roll to your side. And now we're going to use the same blanket, but place it parallel to the long edges of the mat. And we're going to lie back on it with our head on the blanket and our hips on the ground. And you could play with different positions of your arm, whatever you want, whatever feels good. And just let yourself relax. This can feel even better on a bigger blanket, so you could roll 2 blankets together. If you have a bolster, you could use a bolster. And again, it's just this time to relax and let go while you're supporting your body in different positions so that the spine is responding in different ways depending on where the blanket is placed. But we tend to round forward and kind of hunch forward instead of being more open. And that could be from a lot of different things. It could be from sitting at the desk, from looking down at the computer, or our phone, or our food, or whatever. It could be from wanting to protect yourself from, things that are going on around that aren't pleasant. But ultimately, to find that sense of peace, you want to have an open heart, an open mind, open body. And be able to go with the flow, not fight life, but embrace it. Just a couple more breaths here. And again, you can bend your knees, gently roll off your blanket, and come to a comfortable seated position. Now, you might want to sit on your blanket roll or just sit on the ground. It's totally up to you. We're just going to do a short meditation. So close your eyes, let your hands rest on your thighs. If you want, you could even do Gayan Mudra, the mudra of knowledge. So you rest the back of your hands on your legs and bring your thumb and index finger together. And just feel the breath flowing through you. Breathing in a calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know that this is the only moment. It's another quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. And see if you can feel that sense of deep peace within you. Notice if you feel rested and restored and rejuvenated. Notice if your heart feels more open, if you're just feel like your general thoughts, outlook on life is maybe a little more open. And please bring your hands together in front of your heart in Anjali Mudra. And namaste. Thank you so much for sticking with this yoga journey, the journey like just embracing peace and visualizing it and feeling it. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and see you tomorrow for day 8. Bye.